Say it's a really good ball. It's Shabalala. Goal, Bafana, Bafana. Goal for South Africa. Goal for all Africa.
You look good today.
What a
Hello. Welcome to another episode of How's Your Touch? I'm your host, the Oracle, also known as Darren Kofi Bedu, here with my co-host, Tate Alonzo. Welcome back, our usual viewers and any new viewers. Welcome. Anything to say to the people, Tate?
No. Not
I
no
hear
way.
it.
Hey, we almost had our first in-person I think our next episode might be in person. So
soon come.
It's about to be great.
Just a little history on this pod. Tate and I were friends from high school. Some call us lovers.
Some do.
Yeah, we're just trying to meet weekly to discuss latest news in the soccer world, as well as, play trivia games around soccer. This week's episode, actually, it's not really trivia. It's more like assessing each other's ball knowledge, if I do say so myself.
I mean, it's speaking
today's
fast.
episode. Okay, I don't know that big man. Tay, you want to tell the people what we're doing today?
Hey, bro. Darren thought it'd be a good idea. We do the best player at every club, but
every Premier League club.
Every Premier League club. Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, our knowledge is primarily Premier League based, so I figured the viewers knew. But anyways, I do want to say before we start this video that I did have to ask Darren if we were doing, right now, or if we were doing like just in general, who is the best quality player. Not just right now, just because you can include injured players. So Darren and I agreed upon, just best player, period. So we might have, maybe there'll be some injured players, and we'll see how it goes. We're gonna go in order of table too. So
and as of today, Liverpool's on top.
As of today, bro, for the next few weeks.
Tell me who's the best player at Liverpool. I feel like this is pretty easy.
I'm not gonna take very long on this. I hope we agree. It's Mohamed Salah. Unfortunately, it is.
I fully agree. What is there to say about Salah that has not already been said?
Hey, bro, he's a
Premier League all-timer. Arguably the best right winger ever in the Prem. I know those Ronaldo fanboys might be a little butthurt about that statement, but
it's facts.
I really don't even know what there is to say about Salah.
There is,
bro.
But I mean, if anyone doesn't know this,
I think he's the best player in his. I agree. I think Salah is, to me, undisputably the best player in his position in the world, personally.
Yeah, he's definitely the best, but I do think there's a second that's not that far away, but it's okay. He is the best player in that position. And he's the best player at the club, and he's probably the best player in the Premier League, so.
Fully agree. Moving on to
Darren,
number 2 in the Prem right now. The mighty Arsenal. I went with Martin Odegaard. And I know the Arsenal fanboys might be in the background crying, "Oh, why not Starboy? Why not Starboy?" I think Saka is elite talent. I've been saying it for years when he was playing left back and dropped 12 assists in half a season. I don't want to say too much. But, bro, Odegaard is just different, bro. Like, different gravy. Like every touch of his just gets me brick, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Martin Odegaard, watching him, it gets me going in all the right places. The blood is pumping in all the right places, Tate. Creativity, like skill, like even his shot. I think a lot of people were sleeping on Odegaard as a goal scorer. But I'm almost positive as a midfielder, he has the highest non-penalty goals ever scored by a midfielder in the Prem in a season, which is 15. So respect Odegaard, please.
Hey, I agree. Odegaard deserves respect. I think him and KDB will go 1 and 2 in the best cam in the league. And honestly, right now, if I were to choose one, it might be a hot take, but I'd choose Odegaard. I think I also went with Odegaard, but I was talking to Darren before. I think Bukayo Saka is right there too. And I'm not even an Arsenal fanboy. I think Bukayo Saka is. I think he is touching top 5 players in the Premier League. I think he is unreal. I'm not going to talk too much about him. I just think he's the definition of consistent in my opinion. Him and Mohamed Salah are the definition of consistent. That's why they're the 2 best right wingers in the world. So
Fully agreed. Moving on to third in the table, I have Chelsea. Let me know. I feel like this is very easy. We probably don't even need to speak on Chelsea too long. Go ahead, T. Who did you have?
I don't have Cole Palmer.
Crazy. Who do you have?
Moises Caicedo.
I was heavily thinking Caicedo.
Honestly,
I just think on both of their days, I just think Palmer.
He might be.
Is winning you games. I think for me that was the thing. Yeah. Was like Palmer will single-handedly win you a game. Caicedo, yes, can do that in the sense of like protecting your midfield, ball progression. I think like whether like even when Chelsea look poor, to me it's give the ball to Palmer and something might happen.
Yeah. I mean, he is
That's
the guy
why I went with Palmer.
Yeah, he is the guy that, he's their almost like get out of jail free card, right? He's always, even if he's playing bad, he's contributing somehow. I think for me, it kind of reminds me, and we've made this comparison a lot, it kind of reminds me of the Bruno comparison. And, I think almost most United fans might say Bruno's our best player, and I disagree. And we'll get on to that later. And I think Palmer's probably Chelsea's best player, but for me, Moises Caicedo got so much hate when he transferred in there, and I don't think people realize the role this man does for this team. When he's carrying Enzo Fernandez by the side, and I mean Enzo's a good creator, I guess, but he's doing the work of 2 midfielders there. Was absolutely amazing at Brighton. I think he's doing now the same thing he was doing at Brighton at Chelsea, if not even better. He keeps the ball really well. He's a disruptor of play. He's very good at retaining the ball. I think he's good at that back line, progressing the ball from the back line to the front line. So I went with Moises Caicedo. I think he's just as important, if not more important, than Cole Palmer in the team. But I think those 2 are by far the most important in that team. And honestly, it's probably Cole Palmer. I just had to go different.
No, but to be honest, I think I might change to Caicedo because I think Caicedo, for me, hands down this year has been the best 6 in the league.
Yeah, me too.
So by that metric, I will probably switch to Caicedo. I think Palmer has been good, but like I don't know, bro. When KDB does play,
Caicedo.
When KDB does play, I'm like, oh, okay, that's that guy. When Odegaard does play, I'm like, oh, okay, that's that guy.
I don't think his 10 performance is like. It's the parallels of when Bruno was scoring a lot of goals, right?
He's a GA machine, bro. That's like you can't really look past that. And I think that's like where a lot of people get stuck. I guess we both agreed on Palmer.
We're 3 for 3 right now.
Yeah, or not Palmer, on Caicedo. For Brighton, I think this pick should be everybody's pick. Brighton's best player is Danny Welbeck, bro. Let's talk about it.
Honestly, I don't hate the take.
Let's talk about it, bro. Because when I'm looking at build-up play, people sleep on Welbeck, bro. He is a baller in build-up. And the biggest thing with Danny Welbeck previously was conversion rate in front of goal. Bro, last 2 years, he's been banging for Brighton, bro. Even this year, he's starting to add free kicks into his bag. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Like, and everybody who knows me knows, Danny Welbeck is my favorite player of all time.
It is Darren's favorite player.
I have been a Danny Welbeck stan my entire life. And I just think it's about time he gets the flowers he deserves, to be honest. Like, I think they're very good shouts for Brighton. I think Matoma would be up there for a lot of people. I think João Pedro would be up there for a lot of people as well. But my thing is, in the big games, when I'm watching Brighton, yes, João Pedro is the Brazilian flair. Matoma is giving you stepovers. But when I'm watching, then I'm like, oh, like the glue in attack, even dropping into midfield to help, is Danny Welbeck, hands down for me,
Yeah.
like hands down. Like up there, like people are forgetting what's his name. What's that Irish kid they have? The
Evan
striker that
Ferguson.
everybody was Evan Ferguson. People
From the
were
bench,
raving about him, raving about Evan Ferguson. They threw $100 million price tag on him, and Danny Welbeck said, get that out of here, bro. Get that out of here. I'm a seasoned veteran now. Respect me, please." Say, who did you have?
All right, guys, I want to preface my pick by saying Darren is 100% biased in this pick, but I don't hate the pick. But I don't think people listen. If you don't know Darren, you don't understand how much this man loves Danny Welbeck. So listen. I think Danny Welbeck comes in. I think he comes into a lot of teams and makes them better. I think he comes into United. He definitely makes them better.
He
I
would
think
be
he
your
comes
best
in.
striker.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think there is someone that I like more at Brighton. Danny Welbeck was in my top three. My top three were Welbeck was third, Baleba was second, because I think Baleba is. I mean,
agree. He's
he's
just not.
unreal.
He's too raw for me. That's
He
why he
is,
wasn't my
and he
number
needs
one.
more, and that's why I didn't pick
Yeah.
him. So I went with, and this guy, I guess this guy hasn't had a ton of games as well, but I went with João Pedro, and Darren's already talked about him a little bit. I think João Pedro's got that, he's got that dirty flair to him where he's like
He's almost like Richarlison, but better.
he's
like
way
a
better. Yeah,
he's like a dog, but like he's actually Brazilian.
And he's
like,
actually got and I think he's good at contributing GAs, which we talk about, but I also think his build-up play, I mean, he can play 10, he can play striker, he can play on the wing. I think he's just, I said it when he was at Watford. My friend Jonah, who's a Brighton fan, I told him when they signed him, I'm like, dude, this one is legit.
Yeah. He's one of those FM kids, bro. He's been going crazy on FM for years. Yeah. He's a dog.
The
City,
next one
who did you have?
we'll need to discuss. City?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's obvious. I mean, look at him right now. And yeah, I guess there's two players out, but I mean, who just won the Ballon d'Or? I mean, he's the best. He's probably the best player in the world. Him and Vinicius are the best players in the world, and I think he's shown that he elevates City to a whole different level with the level of control they have. Because I think part of City's issue is they don't have control right now of a lot of games because they don't have that general in midfield.
Are you gonna say his name, or are people supposed to guess?
Oh, sorry, Rodri. I thought people would understand. But I just feel like I don't know. I don't think it's that hot of a take to say he's the best player on that team. I mean, I know people will say KDB. I know people will say Holland, but I think Rodri's shown.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he
think
comes up with
the best
goals
footballer on the team for me is KDB, but best player, I think would be Rodri. Because I think Rodri overperforms in his role in a sense, like you said, no one's really looking to their six for goal contributions, and he gives you that in the most clutch moments, as well as literally being the linchpin of their whole team, not just the midfield, their whole team. Build up, everything goes through Rodri. Most of their attacking sequences, he's starting them.
It's unreal. Unreal play.
So I feel like that's a very easy decision. Nottingham Forest. Who did you have? Oh, I guess I can go. Yeah. I went with Cho, to be honest. Callum Hudson-Odoi.
He was my second choice.
I was juggling between him and Morgan Gibbs-White, to be honest. I really like Morgan Gibbs-White, but I just feel like Cho, when I watch him play, still gives me that the little hints of, if I was at the right team, I could be top 5, top 6 in the world in this position. 1v1, bro, he cooks people, bro. And now he's adding the end product. Obviously, he's at Forest, and he's one of the main men of Forest, so everything is going through him. I don't know if he will get that kind of freedom on a bigger team.
No,
but I think on a big team, he would be a great third piece. As in, if they had a really good striker, a really good right wing, I think he would be a great left wing on a very good team. And I don't know, bro. You know me and the potential boys. Like if you have potential when you're young, I'm with it, bro. I want to see you. I want to see you shine. Who did you
I,
have, T? I assume
I
you
like,
had
yeah, Gibbs White.
Morgan Gibbs White.
I like Hudson-Odoi. I mean, for those of us that followed him for a little while, I mean, he almost went to Bayern.
Yeah.
So obviously his talent's there. I think for me the reason I went Gibbs White is I feel like Gibbs White is I think he's the engine of that team, and I almost feel like in a team like Forest, who, you need that individual quality, but I think their main contributor with goals is Chris Wood, and I
Yeah.
would never go and say Chris Wood is the best player at the club. So I feel like then my best player at that club has to be the guy that's controlling the game, and I feel like every game I watch Forest where they are doing well or dominating, Gibbs White is playing extremely well. And again,
Yeah.
he might not come out and pop out GAs, but his GAs are probably pretty close to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi might be a little easier on the eye with excitement, but I think, what you get from a player, I think Gibbs White gives Forrest the most. I think he's Forrest's most valuable player, and I think he's, for that, their best player.
Yeah, that makes sense. I went with Cho also because literally Chris Wood is balling, and I think a large part to
Cho's
play
helping
in
with
that
that, yeah.
is Cho. Like
And
whether
I
it's
think
Cho
Alanga
running off
helps
of
a
him.
lot, too.
Yeah, I agree. I think both wingers are perfect for the kind of player Chris Wood is.
Yeah, I agree.
Moving on to Tottenham, who did you have, Tate?
All right, this one might be a little bit of a rogue shout, but I truly do believe it, and I just started believing it this season because I saw it before, but not to the extent I see it now. If you
We have
ask
the
me
same
right now
person.
who their best player is, it's Kulishevsky. I
I
think
agree.
I think he is. I mean, against City, he was man of the match in my opinion. He was cooking that game. Against United, he might have been man of the match too. I mean, he is, and I think it's the 8/10 role he's playing now. I like it so much more than him playing on the right wing. And again, it kind of gives me the vibe of like he's more of the ilk of Martin Odegaard than someone like Cole Palmer is for me. And
Yeah.
it's kind of what I'm looking for in my 10, right? Someone that's going to keep the ball and make smart passes, but he's also got that individual quality to dip in a nice cross or finish a chance. But my main goal for my 10 isn't to be the GA leader of the team. And I think he's so fun to watch. He's great in tight spaces, makes all the smart choices, great chance creator. I love him. I think he's been quality for them this year.
Yeah. I think I went with Kulusevski as well. In the sense of right now, I think he's their best player. Um, it's just Son is different, bro. To be honest, like
His finishing.
Son is just literally like just different. So I went with Kulusevski, but I think Son deserves a major shout.
Definitely.
If this was last year, for me, it would have been Heung-min Son.
You
The
know
year
who else
before,
deserves a shout?
it would have been a Heung-min Son as well. Who?
I think Mickey Van de Ven deserves a shout.
Van de Ven was in rotation for me, but I don't know, bro. I think their system literally lets us see his biggest strength like
It
7,
does.
8
But
times
the
a game.
system
But
revolves
which
around
isn't
Mickey Van de Ven.
yeah. I think as physical attributes, I don't know if there's a center back in the world with better physical
I know.
attributes, to be honest. Like,
He's
because
and
he can jump out of the building like he's so quick. I think if his brain develops the way like a Van Dyke's brain developed, like, I'm a physical presence, but I don't. If I position myself well enough, I don't need to continuously show this physical presence. But yeah, Kulusevski for me as well. So I'm
I
happy
think
to
those
agree
were the
on that.
top three though that we just talked about.
Yeah.
So
Brentford, I feel like this is super easy. I went with Mbeumo, bro.
yeah, I agree.
Like I think Mbeumo should be playing on a better team. Like,
Yep.
bro, that guy's a baller. Like baller. I would want him at Arsenal, but like I don't want to see him on the bench somewhere. I want him to go somewhere and start. Like he's not coming to displace Bukayo. Yeah, bro. Like I told you when we were doing this.
Ahmad plays the right wing back. So let's
When
bring.
we were doing the signing episode, I told you
Yeah, and I said
to United.
I like him.
Yeah, he's good. He's very good. Honorable shout for Wisa. I don't think he's anywhere near Mbeumo. Like I think Mbeumo is a caliber above. But I think Wisa at Brentford has been going off.
Do you know who else?
Honorable shout to him.
I mean, this might be recency bias, but Kevin Shada, I've been watching a lot of, and he would always have these spurts, and like he can't finish. He couldn't finish, but now like this past week or two, he's been putting in finishing, and he's got the physical attributes as well. He's got the mad pace. He's got dribbling too. So I mean, he's one to look out for. But yeah, Brian Mbeumo, it's not close in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, Tate. United. Oh, United. Oh. Damn, we had to wait this long to talk about you guys. This is
hey, bro, at least we're in the top half now.
This is getting old.
I think this is hard, and I really want to sit on the fence.
I don't think so.
I think
there is one player on your team, I think, gets into most teams in the past. Yeah, there's only one player on your team.
I would say Kobbie Mainoo is. I think Kobbie Mainoo is objectively our best player, and I think the reasoning for that is he starts for England, so it makes a lot. I mean, he's starting for one of the biggest countries in the world at 19 years old, and he hasn't even had that much of a chance to develop. And I think, his potential is going to lead him to be by far the best player at our club. And I mean, we've talked a lot on this episode about him, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about him a while. But the two shout-outs I want to give, and I won't talk about them long, because I really struggle to name the best player at our club, because I think Amad Diallo is right there with him. Yeah. And I think Ten Hag not starting him alone should have gotten him sacked, because we had Anthony, who we signed for like 7 times the price. We started Rashford on the right
Anthony,
wing.
Bro. Respect Anthony. Right he put in a shift at wing back, bro. Respect Anthony.
But I think Amad is, and I think under Amorim, I think he's going to be. I mean, I think that right wing back position, I'm watching him play right now, and it fits exactly the way Amorim wants him to play. I think he's very technical, very good on the ball. Gives me a vibe of someone that would be better playing at a team like Arsenal than a team like United, because he fits their style more than he fits our style. I don't think he gets into Arsenal's side, and that's why he's probably not our best player. And then Mazraoui, I think he's came to the club, and I think because I'll be the first one to admit that I might have had a howler with the Dalot take, because I think Mazraoui has shown me something that I didn't realize. That, yeah, I'll admit it, but I think he's definitely showing me. I think he's been the best right back in the league this year, probably him or Trent. And I think for us to have that to say about an actual United player and like legit, I think a lot of the teams would believe it. I think that he's got to be in the conversation, but I would go Kobbie Mainoo probably.
Yeah, I went Kobbie as well. Just looking around the league, I just thought like there's literally only one United player I think comfortably gets into every team, even City. Like,
yeah, I agree.
One of their free 8s, I think Kobbie gets in. Arsenal, one of our 8s, I think Kobbie gets in.
Maybe.
So yeah, that's the only one why I went with Kobbie. Yeah, I think Kobbie rotates, and I just think we rotate that left 8 too much. I don't know, bro. I think Kobbie is better than Szoboszlai. Like, I think the difference is Szoboszlai is an engine.
Yeah, he definitely
is more of an engine. I think Szoboszlai covers so much more ground than Kobbie, but I think based on the player profile, Slot would do something different with Kobbie. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I went with Kobbie. Fulham. I think this was hard. This was genuinely one of the hardest teams to pick for. I was juggling between the two Arsenal boys, I won't lie to you. But I ended up with Alex Iwobi. I think he's been doing it longer. I think the same statement I made about Palmer being the get out of jail free card for Chelsea, I think when Fulham look like they're in a bit of a rut, it's pass the ball to Iwobi. I think he's the best dribbler at the club. I would have gone ESR, to be honest, because I think actual talent, I think ESR is a better talent. I think Iwobi, however, beats him on consistency. I think ESR is too up and down with performances. I think he started the season really well, then he had a big dip in the middle of the season, which I think it was just him, like, the game's catching up to him. He hasn't played a full Prem season ever.
Yeah.
Like, he's always been injured. And I think Iwobi, for me, just came out on top because I just think his average performance is higher than
than ESR.
Yeah.
I went ESR, and I think what you said actually sums up a lot of my thoughts too. I think ESR might be a little less consistent, but I think the reason that ESR is better is if you look at Fulham's form as a team, I think it's dipped a little bit, and I think the reason it's dipped is because ESR hasn't been doing as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I'm looking at best player at the club, right, I think the club revolves around ESR right now, and I think ESR is that focal piece. So to me, he's got to be the best player just for that alone. And I questioned the signing at the start too, not because I didn't think he was good, just because I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't know if I thought Fulham it would elevate them to the top half of the table, and I think he has done it, but I don't know if it's consistent enough based on what you're saying, and that's how I think in a few months we'll find out, is ESR really that best player at that club, because Canny can keep up this consistency to get them up there and keep up there. So
Yeah. I'm a big ESR fan.
he is.
So it was very hard choosing Iwobi over him. But I just think, like I said, I think ESR's good performances are so much better than Iwobi's.
Yeah.
However, I think Iwobi's giving you 7 out of 10s
More
too often, to be ignored.
I gotcha. I think
Okay.
this one's probably the easiest one for me, actually.
Newcastle, really? I know you went with Isak.
I did.
I went with Bruno G, to be honest.
Okay, I see it.
Like
but
Isak, I think Isak is their best player, but again, Isak, I have the same issue with of consistency. I think Isak, when he plays well, is to me, and this might be a hot take. I think Isak, when he plays well, is better than Holland. Like I think
agree.
Isak offers more to your
I don't
team
think it's
than
a hot
Holland
take.
does. But I think Bruno G, just like Iwobi for me, is just always consistent. He's giving you what you're getting from Bruno G. And my issue with Isak is you don't know what you're getting from him. Like,
I get what you're saying. I do. But again, I'm going to use the same thing I used with
I think Isak at his
well.
best is a world beater. Like, let's get that clear. I want Isak at Arsenal. Like,
and
I think he's him.
He is. I think, again, if Newcastle are at their best, right? Who is the team revolving around? It's revolving around Isak. And I get what you're saying with the consistency aspect of Bruno G. I really do think that Isak is a whole. I think it's hard because I think Bruno G is really good, but I think Isak is a whole new level of talented player. I mean, I think he's probably the best 9 in the Prem, I would say. And I think, him and Holland are sitting there right there with each other. But I think Isak's all-around game is unreal. This man can play left wing. If you stuck Holland at left wing, my eyes would be bleeding. I'm sure Darren's would be bleeding too. I think Isak is and he's so quick. He's so good on the ball. He finishes almost all the chances Holland's finishing right now too.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, I think his all-around game is better. I think Bruno G is also a shout that, I think last year I would have said Bruno G is their best player. I think it was just the past year that Isak had. I think that's what put me over the edge with Isak. But I think, again, Newcastle build around those 2 players, and they're going to be in a good spot.
Honorable mention for Anthony Gordon, though.
Yeah.
I think if we're talking about the heartbeat of a team, I think he is the heartbeat of Newcastle.
You know what's crazy about Anthony Gordon,
too? For me, I think, unfortunately for him, he's not as easy on the eye as a lot of. He's an English winger. He's just an English winger. But, consistency levels, I think he matches Bruno G for me. Anthony Gordon gives you a solid performance every game. But for me, it's more like, I think Bruno G and Isak, for me, have the potential to be world class. Whereas I look at Anthony Gordon and I don't know if he can take that extra step.
I think Anthony Gordon is crazy to me too, because I remember them signing him from Everton, and I think a lot of people were. I was in shock with the price and what I've seen so far. They saw something I didn't, and I mean, he is. I will be the first to admit, I think he's one of the better wingers in the league. He's a great player.
I agree. Okay. Aston Villa. Who'd you have to?
All right, this is a rogue shout. I
Mm.
know we're gonna disagree with this, and I think my argument's gonna end up losing. I don't think it's gonna be a very. I've just watched Villa this season, and I've said when I'm watching them, who's the best player that I'm watching? And for me, it's Morgan Rogers.
I hear it.
I think.
But
I mean, the category isn't there yet, right?
Yeah.
I can't sit here and say, but I was thinking through the other players that I would have put. Yuri Tielemans was another one I was considering, and Yuri Tielemans doesn't have the category that I think someone like an Ollie Watkins might have, or someone like an Ezri Konsa might have. For me, though, Morgan Rogers has been. I mean, his physical. I don't like talking about like the frame of a player, like the physical attributes with regards to like height, speed, and that stuff. But Morgan Rogers has it all. I mean, he is like 6'4", and I wouldn't consider him a striker, and he is just. I mean, he's great at dribbling. He gives me unreal dribbling vibes, and I think another player that makes the smart decisions. He can take a player on 1v1. I just think I think when Villa are going to be at their best, he's going to be facilitating a lot of that. I think it's hard for me to say this, though, based on, the category that a player might have. I don't think he's got it yet. So theoretically, my answer is probably wrong. But I just think when I watch them right now, when I'm watching them, I'm thinking he's their best player.
Yeah. No, I think okay, so when making my list, I think you went heavily based on talent of the players at the clubs. I went with a blend of talent and what I've seen, like what you have actually shown me.
Yeah.
And for Morgan Rogers, I think he's hands down the best talent at Villa.
Yeah.
I think if we're also talking talent, I think Yuri Tielemans would probably be the second best talent at Villa. But I think I went with Watkins as my player because of like Watkins is one of those that everybody puts in this category of like he's just a brute striker, like he just runs the channel and then but like build up Watkins is really good. And also you just can't ignore progression of his career. Like it's not like literally every season he's like, hey, I'm giving you at least 15, bro. At least 15 every season. And I think for me to compare a talent to a stone cold top 3 striker in the Prem, it's hard for me to do that. Yeah. Like I think Morgan Rogers also, like I think he's inconsistent, bro. To be honest,
I think he's going to be a very inconsistent player.
Like I do agree with that, but I think it's just based on the kind of player he is. Like he's one who needs the ball a lot at his feet. Like the game has to revolve around him. And I think for me, he still needs to take an additional step. Whereas I feel like Ollie Watkins has already taken that step, especially based on like I think talent to performance. I think Ollie Watkins is pretty much maxed out talent to performance. Yeah. Whereas Rogers, I think on his 10-10 performances, bro, he came to Arsenal and said, "Fucking Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, let's go on a ride."
Unreal.
Like, he's one of the few midfielders who have played against the Arsenal midfield and have made the Arsenal midfield look bad. Like one of, if not the only midfielder like this year who has made the Arsenal midfield look bad defensively. So I hear the Morgan Rogers shout, but I had to go with I feel like there's a common theme, in my list of like a blend of what we've seen plus talent. Bournemouth. I went with Semenyo. I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, he's from Ghana, so it's biased." But I think if you watch Bournemouth, their best attacker, hands down, is Semenyo. Very big honorable shout for Kirkez. I only went Semenyo because I think the difference, I think they are on par with each other talent-wise for their positions. The only reason I went Semenyo is I think this year specifically, he's just winning games for them. Almost not single-handedly, but he's a big reason for them winning games. Say, especially in big games. When we lost to Bournemouth, Semenyo's fingerprints were all over that game.
Both goals, right?
When Bournemouth beat City, his fingerprints were all over that game. He was telling Kyle Walker mid-game, "Yo, bro, you might have to retire." He's had a very, very good season.
Yes.
So I had to go to Semenyo. Tay, who do you have?
I think it was between Semenyo and Kirkez for me too. I went Kirkez. I think everything you're saying about Semenyo, I agree with. I think Semenyo's taken a step too, to becoming a. I think since Solanke left, Semenyo said, "This is my team."
Yeah.
And I really do think the team is, and this is kind of where, I feel like sometimes I contradict myself a little bit in this list, but I think it differs team by team. I think the reason I went Kirkez is I think Kirkez has to be in the top 3, top 2 in his position.
Yeah.
And I don't think I say that about anyone else on Bournemouth. And, I think Kirkez goes into a Liverpool and he does what Andy Robertson's done.
Yeah.
And I think that's for the reason for me.
I don't know, bro. This City game today, Robertson played a pass. I was like, that's looking like an old Robo, bro.
And
that pass to
Darren
Gakpo,
Darren and I watched the Liverpool Madrid game together, and he did give up a pen, but there was times where Robertson was really good that game too.
Very good, yeah.
I think the issue with Robertson is I think his level of focus and his consistency has dropped a little bit recently, and I think his physical attributes have also dropped a little bit. So I think with all of that being said, I don't think the quality isn't there, but and we did the signings episode, and Darren mentioned Kirkez there. I think Kirkez is, again, a player that goes to a different club and he elevates a whole new level. I think if you're talking about the most important player at Bournemouth right now, I don't necessarily think Kirkez would be the first one I would choose, but I think he might be the best player at that club. So
I hear it. West Ham. Say, who do you have? I feel like this is so easy, bro, to be honest.
I did go Kudus, but I do want to give a shout out to another player I think is fantastic there, but I think his career is rotting there. And I think it's Lucas Paqueta. I think.
Yeah. Also, we're not giving shout outs to people who bet on themselves, bro. Trying to fix matches, betting on yourself to get yellow cards. We're not talking about Paqueta today, bro.
I don't like that.
Give the Ghanaian king the respect he deserves. Back-to-back Ghanaians being the best players at their team, and Cho and Kobe Manu. Nah, bro. This list is,
dude. Your favorite player.
Oh, facts. Danny Welbeck. Facts, bro. Ghana's got fingerprints all over this list. Respect us.
I do think Kudus is the guy that. See, I think it's hard for me between
replacement, bro.
What?
That's the Salah replacement.
I think it's hard for me though because I think Paqueta goes to City and he is like unreal. So I think the two of them are so good.
I hear you. My thing is Kudus goes anywhere. And I think he is elite. I think if he comes to Arsenal, he won't play on the right wing. I think Arteta plays him center mid. And he's done that at Ajax.
Paqueta not go, and I think Paqueta does the same thing everywhere.
I hear you, but my thing though is with Paqueta, I think he's a kind of midfielder that I think you have to plan around.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think Kudus is that kind of player. I think Kudus, he literally can just put on the team, and then it's like, okay, our team is better.
I think the reason that, and I would preface this by saying, if I had to answer,
I watch Ghana play.
I know,
and the only reason I watch Ghana play is because of Kudus. Bro.
If I had to answer right now who the best player was, I would say Kudus. But I do want to say that when I watch Paqueta at his best, I rarely think
I think he has the potential to be.
I rarely see a better, and that's kind of why. Not that Kudus doesn't give me those feelings. I just think Paqueta is. I think he has. So I mean, his flair is unreal. I think he just brings so much enjoyment to watching. But I do think, from what I've seen at the club, I would have to go Kudus because Paqueta's been there a while now, and he's been very inconsistent. I think when he's happy, he plays well. But I mean, dude, you got to play well every game. Come on.
Yeah.
So I think Kudus is the one for them. I think the rest of the list we might agree on completely.
Everton. I had Doucouré. Who did you have?
Shoot.
I had Doucouré, bro.
I said that, and of course we differ. I think there's one player that contributes more to the team than anyone else, and it's Dwight McNeil. And
I hear you, but I went Ducouré because
so
I
I can't
understand he's
stand it.
not easy on the eye, bro, but that man has delivered them from relegation single-handedly on 2
Okay,
occasions.
he
Like,
did, and that moment was
literally by
crazy.
himself. Bro, this is a CDM that they moved to Cam, and he said, "You know what? Here's 10 Prem goals. Here, have it. Here, have it. You here have 10 goals." I agree. Dwight McNeil to me is the best footballer at the club. Like, I think he is.
I think today he was
But
the
I
only
just
good player
think,
for them.
yeah, I do hear that. But I think Ducouré for me, it's just kind of like a prem linchpin. When I go and play Everton, Doucouré is one of the players I'm worried about because he doesn't have to have a good game. He'll
You're
just
right.
hit a. He like he'll just hit like he's just an engine. Like he will never stop running. Like he's not creative, but will play a creative pass.
Yeah,
Like
you're
and
just like
his shooting,
so
like
weird.
he like again for player ability to performance. I think he
He's matching it.
exceeds. Yeah,
I think, yeah, and I think as people are probably watching this, they're probably seeing the themes. I do think I'm going a little more based off like talent I'm seeing,
yeah,
not necessarily consistency at the club.
yeah.
And I think Dwight McNeil, in my opinion, is the most talented player there. But I
I
do,
agree.
I do see, I do see the Decoy shout. I also just want to be a clown for a second and give a shout out to Jared Branthwaite because I think last year we both might have had a shout for him, and
Yeah,
I think he's been injury prone this year. And then today
yeah.
he just gave United 2 goals. So hey, I'm just saying, I'll take him for 15 million now. Bring him to my club.
Who did you have for Leicester? I had another Ghanaian, so I want to know who you had.
You didn't have Jordan Ayew, I hope.
No,
Okay.
Fatal.
Oh, I like him.
He's injured now, but I
But
think he's their best player.
I went with the guy on loan from Brighton because
Mm.
I think, and
Are you
I
gonna
will
say
be
his
the
name? You
first.
keep doing this. Say their name, Tate.
Facundo Buenanote. Is that how you say?
Buenanote, yeah.
I think.
He was my second option.
I think I didn't necessarily see it at Brighton. What I'm seeing now, because I think he just didn't have the consistency in game time. But I mean, he's cooking for them. I think he's contributing to almost every goal they're scoring right now. I mean, they suck. Let me say
Yeah.
they suck, but he is contributing to every goal I'm seeing them score. And I think his overall gameplay is good. I think the fact that he got signed by Brighton alone means he's going to be a really good player. And I think he's head and shoulders above everyone at Leicester. I do love it's Fatal. Is that how you say it? I do
Fatal,
love.
yeah.
I watched a little bit more of him, I'd say, in the championship because I feel like I haven't seen him that much this year. But yeah, he's good too. I think
Yeah,
he's from French league, right?
yeah, they got him from the French league.
I thought so. He's good though. I
Yeah,
really
proper
like him
baller.
too.
And I was just trying to squeeze as many Ghanaians on this list as possible.
There's another common theme from your list. I was worried you were gonna
Okay.
say Jordan Ayew.
Bro, I hate that man with my
I
whole
know.
soul.
I know. Andre Ayew, what a player.
Palace, who did you have, Tate?
Darren, if we don't agree on this, then we don't know ball.
Okay, who did you have?
Eze.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I think Mark Gahey was a very, very close second for me.
I agree, but it's Eze.
It is
It is
Eze.
Eze.
Like, it is Eze.
It is Eze.
Wolves, also pretty easy. Yeah, we don't need to speak on Eze, bro.
Again.
He is head and shoulders above everybody else at Palace as a talent. Wolves, I don't think we need to speak on too long either. I went with Cunha. Who did you go with, Tate?
Head and shoulders above every player at Wolves.
I agree.
It's not even close.
I will say they have a new midfielder. I think his name is João Pedro.
João Gomez, yeah, he's good.
João Gomez, I like him a lot, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's
like
really small, but
like
I like him a lot. Yeah, I do like their striker as well.
But Cunha
Strand Larson,
yeah,
he's good.
He's an interesting player too because I did not rate him at Atletico, but I'm watching him now and I'm like,
bro, he's always giving me proper Brazilian vibes,
I know.
bro.
I love watching. He's one of my favorite players.
For me, it's just in front of goal. He's a little shaky sometimes, but he's a baller.
I think he's someone that I can see at Liverpool type and he
Yeah,
would. I
I
think he
agree.
would be unreal there.
But I think they should get him, throw him on the left wing, bro. I like Liverpool's left wingers, but I'm not the biggest fan of Diaz, to be
I think
honest.
he fits that team well too.
Agree.
I'm a big fan of Cunha, so I agree. Not even close for me.
Ipswich, who did you have? I think there's only 2 options at this. 3. If you really watch Ipswich, there's 3 options.
I think
But
I think
I think
I
there's a
almost
clear
I
number
almost
1.
went Liam Delap, but I didn't. I went Amari Hutchinson.
I agree. I
And
went Hutchinson as
I
well.
think you've seen it in the Prem a little bit. I don't think we've seen it to the extent that you saw it at the end of the championship last year, because
Yeah.
that man was unreal. But if you
Yeah.
watch the United game, he was the best player on the field. Maybe
Yeah.
not on the. He was probably the best player on the field. And
Yeah.
I think, I just think he's really, really talented player.
He's
someone
gonna
that
stay in the Prem.
Chelsea
He's gonna
sold.
stay in the Prem. Yeah. I mean,
And
technically from Arsenal's academy, so respect us, please.
No,
We paid
no. I know, but I'm saying like this type of player, like to me, he puts in a shift for Chelsea right now. Like
Yeah, but where?
If you
Because
give me
Omari
all right,
Hutchinson wants to play 10, and Palmer is not getting benched.
yeah, no, I agree. But if you give me the option of playing Noni Madueke or Omari Hutchinson, I'm choosing Omari Hutchinson.
Yeah, but he has no bursts, Tate. That's why he doesn't play on the wing.
I know.
He can beat a man, but after that, he can't get away from you.
I just think, but then they're playing Jadon Sancho. They just spent $25 million on a player that's like that.
But they aren't playing him anymore.
Well, because he is trash, but it's okay.
I hear you.
We can accept it.
But that's what I'm saying. But they also brought in a Pedro Neto, who is playing.
Pedro Neto's a shout that for Chelsea. I mean, I think he's probably 3rd or 4th best player on that team. He is unreal. But yeah, Omari Hutchinson for me, Ipswich. I think that one was pretty easy for me. Liam Delap's been good, but
I think Liam Delap is very good. I think he makes that team tick. I think when they are in trouble, it's play it down the channel. Liam Delap will do something about it. He wrestles center backs and actually comes out on top a lot of the time.
We won't talk about
my other shout was their left back, Leaf
Davis.
His last name, Leaf Davis. Yeah. He's very good. He is very, very good.
They also
I like
signed a guy from Hull that's good too, Jacob Greaves. But I think those 3 that you named are the best 3 probably.
And lastly, Southampton. I feel like this is the easiest one. There's only one player for me.
I think Palace and Wolves were easier, but it's. I mean, I think it has to be Tyler Dibbling.
Yeah, I went with Dibbling.
I mean, I don't even watch anyone else on their team in a move whatsoever.
Yeah. But he moves me, bro. He moves me, bro.
We are talking about consistency, right? And I mean, we haven't seen enough of this guy. Did you know who he was before this year? I personally did not.
I hear you, but the thing is, the rest of their team is so bad.
Okay, let me throw in a few names, and I just want to hear.
Cameron Archer, don't even say that name to me, bro.
Kyle Walker-Peters. I mean, he has to have a shout. He has to have a shout.
But I think again, for me, it came down to match winner. Especially for the smaller teams,
the rest of them.
For the smaller teams, he literally tried to drag them through that Liverpool game single-handedly.
I mean, he did the same against United too.
It
was 0-0, and he was cooking us.
Yeah,
but he's a fun player to watch. I'm very impressed with what I've seen from him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. Damn, Tate! First episode under an hour.
Hey, bro. Listen, Darren and I've been, you guys can probably tell we like to talk about this stuff a lot. So I'm glad we kept this one under an hour. I also think it's because a lot of our ideas of what we consider a good player are very similar. So I don't think there was any shout that any of us gave that we were like, I don't hear it whatsoever. Yeah. And I think there are a lot of people that would give shouts that we would completely disagree with. So I think, it was good to have that conversation. Let us know if we missed out anyone big, or if, you disagree with any of our options. Maybe we made you think of someone you didn't. I guarantee you, the Kulu shouts one, I'm like, not many people are thinking of
Danny Welbeck, bro. Danny Welbeck,
I think people are thinking of it, though. I think people are thinking of it. I
just think he's not as sexy as Matoma, or it's not a sexy option like some of their other players, or a João Pedro.
Yeah. And then someone another shout that we made, I think a Morgan Rogers is someone that, I think that's one that a lot of people won't have thought of, but I think he's a big one as well. So I thoroughly enjoyed the episode.
Same.
I think we have. Well, we'll hopefully figure out a new idea. We might do an in-person episode next. Darren and I will both be in the same place.
Or a watch along. Who knows? I might have to pop out for the United Arsenal game. Who knows?
Hey, bro, I got class during the game. You wouldn't even believe it.
We can have a watch along during the game, Tate.
Hey, bro.
During your class, bro.
But for real, guys, I do think. I mean, there's gonna be some good eps coming up soon. Again, throw out ideas in the comments. We want to, give you what you guys want. We're trying to give ideas that, aren't just, hey, United won this week. This is a first.
Yeah.
Like, we're not trying to do that stuff. So definitely give us some ideas if you have any. Otherwise, Darren, I don't know if you have anything else you want to say.
I need you to tell the people what they should do, Tate.
Hey, bro, I think we should get some, some likes on this video,
Mm-hmm.
some comments. Listen, I've been seeing Sebastian. He's been commenting on every video. Someone counter this man. We got JR on here. Roasting us. Listen, they can't be the only ones engaging with us, bro. We need more. So definitely hit the comments. Subscribe to How's Your Touch. If you want to, give us any ideas, anything like that, we'd love to hear it. Definitely hit up those like, comments, subscribes. Yeah. That's what I think they should do.
I agree, Tate. I agree. Great episode. Pleasure having you as always, and pleasure you having me. I love seeing your face. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Peace, peace, peace.
Tate, I wouldn't be wanting to spend this moment with anybody else but you. Take my hand. Take my hand.
Summer love, we can never get enough. My summer love, when winter comes I gotta run.